Solo Learn. There are many other playgrounds that you can use for Java and for Kotlin, right? So, but the one that I use very often is actually this one for Kotlin, right? Current version 1.6 and Java Solo Learn, right? So you can go to this website. I think it's just Java. Let's see. Yes, Java, sorry. Right, so later I'll give you 1 hour to try a question, right? So I give you the question now. This is the question, so let me send you the question now. You can get the question from the chat. Wait. Right, you can get the question from the chat. It's a Word file. Right, so this is the class diagram. Right, so the super class is going to be an abstract class. I didn't teach about abstract class. Actually, it's nothing much more than just, okay, let me show you some example of an abstract class. Abstract class is a class, just a normal class, just that in the body for an abstract class, in the body of an abstract class, right? You have at least one function that is called abstract function. Abstract 是抽象的，抽象。Abstract means you don't need to define the body, the functionality, the body of the function. You just need to write down the header, so-called the header of the function, without the body. So if you have one function, at least one function or one property inside the class, which is abstract, without the body, then that class is called abstract class. So sometimes some function, you cannot define the operation, the behavior of certain function in the superclass because it is abstract, right? Then you define the function inside the subclass, right? Like this display job, right? This website, so you can see that. Kotlin abstract class and method. So if that method or function is abstract inside the abstract superclass, then in the subclass, the teacher is a subclass, right? For person, because teacher inherit from person, right? So this is a subclass, will actually override the abstract class right in the body of the subclass. So display job is not defined, right? So that this display job, the operation is not defined in the superclass, right? In the superclass, there is no body for this function, but inside the subclass, you can define the body of that subclass, right? Body means what you want to do, right? Inside the function, inside the method, right? So this is a concrete class, right? Concrete class and with concrete function. All the functions must be defined with the body, right? So in the abstract class, you can have functions that is not defined, right? With the header but no body, right? So you can also have concrete function inside abstract class, no worry, no problem, right? Just that it's just like normal class, except if you have at least one function that is abstract inside the class, then that class must be called abstract class, must with keyword abstract. Same for Java, same for Java. And this function, this class, normally the abstract class should be the super class. Normally we make the super class abstract. That's why in this function, in this program, right, the animal class is an abstract class, right? Abstract class, 动物是一个抽象的 abstract concept, right? But concrete concept are like cat, dog, big dog, right? So cat is a subclass of animal, dog is a subclass of animal as well, but different function inside, right? Different constructor and different function, different function. And big dog is also a subclass of dog. Big dog is a grandson, grandson. So dog is the son of animal. Big dog is the son of dog, right? Big dog, you just need to inherit from dog, right? So the concept of inheritance, so here, so you can see there are two different inheritance from animal. One is cat, one is dog, right? So try to figure out. If you don't have enough time for 1 hour, I can give you extra time. Just try to figure out, right? And then the test program I give you already. So if you want to write in Kotlin, right? This is the test program in Kotlin. You can copy this. Just copy this, right? This is in Kotlin. You copy this down, and then you can go to start a new project in IntelliJ IDEA, right? Put in the main, or if you use Kotlin Playground, like I mentioned just now, you can just paste it here. So this is a test program, right? Already written for you. You just want to make sure you define the class, right? Like abstract class animal, right? Abstract class animal just now, right? So that define this class, and then you want to have subclass, which is inherit from animal. So the constructor I let you define, there is some property which is called the name, right? The name. So your constructor must contain a name for the animal and also a name for the cat, right? You see the cat name. Name is part of the parameter you pass when you construct the cat. So that is what you are supposed to write later, So you have another subclass called dog, right? In Kotlin, inherit from animal. So only the animal is the abstract class because there's a function inside there, which is the greet, which is abstract, right? So the class diagram already mentioned here very clearly. Greeks actually abstract, right? And then lastly, you have another class which is big dog, inherit from dog. So this is exactly what you need to do lah. Define all the class so that to make your program works, right? Make your program works. Once you have defined all this, your program should actually work, right? Then the expected output of the program should be like this, right? Your program should print according more or less like this, right? If you run the main program, if you run the main program, and you define your classes according to this chart, class diagram. And if you are more familiar with Java, you want to try using Java, but I encourage you to use Kotlin, right? Kotlin is the language, that new language we learn. But if you want to use Java, also can, right? If you want to use Java, also can. You can use Java editor, right? But Java, you need to define a program, public class, right? Program. So here, your public main program, right? So it would be, let me put it in, right? This test animal, this is actually the program, right? So whatever class you have as the main program, and then you pass this part, the main, right? The main function into the main program, right? You can copy this part and then you pass it into here. So your program should work also, but you need to define your class outside here. Abstract class animal, but this is in Java, right? If you do it in Java, this one is in Java. Class, for example, just now cat, right? Inherit means extends animal, right? And then you define the class. Then another one, dog, extends animal, something like that. And then lastly, class big dog extends dog. Okay, something like that, You know how to write the program, So these are going to be defined in Java, right? You can do in Java, you can do in Kotlin, doesn't matter. But I encourage you to use Kotlin, because we learn Kotlin more than Java, It's a new language. So references, if you really want to refer how to do it in Kotlin, I give you some references, right? You can, like, one of these is this website, Programmist. This Programmist, right? Yeah, some simple example that you can refer to before you do, right? So any question for this? Not graded, no worry, not graded. This test is for you to practice, to see how much you have pick up, right, for object-oriented programming. In this we introduce a bit new concept called abstract class. Abstract class is a class with abstract method that doesn't have an implementation. Body is the implementation. So we inherit and then we do it in the subclass for that superclass. Any question for the test? Right, you can use IntelliJ idea, you can use playground, right? So once you have done, right, on the playground, for example, you have written the code, you just copy all this code, right, and save it into a text file. If it is Kotlin, you save it as .kt, right? You just copy this into a text editor, right? Just copy everything into a text editor, for example. You can copy into your IntelliJ idea and save it as a .kt file, right? .kt file. Or if it is Java, you just open a program in Java, or you save it. If it is Java code, you just save it as, right? So if it is Kotlin, right? Kotlin, then man.kt. You can give it man.kt. If it is Java program, then you save it as man.java. Java code.java. Kotlin code.kt. Just submit the text file, the source code. Only to submit the source code. You just need to write in one code, one program, one code, one KT or one Java code. And the submission link I give you now, right? Submission link, you just write your name and so on, upload the file. Upload the KT file or upload the Java file, .java file. If you use Java, right? I give you the freedom to choose, right? If you want to try using Java, you write Java. If you want to write in both Java and Kotlin within the time given, you can do it. Even better, right? Even better. And don't worry, this is not graded. This is for me to test, evaluate, right? How much you have picked up object-oriented programming in Java or Kotlin, right? So if the language you want to test using Java, you do it in Java. If you really want to challenge yourself, use Kotlin, the one that we just learned in 2 weeks, then you use Kotlin. You can refer, it's open book. Any question? The question that I state 1 hour. So let's try whether we can finish in 1 hour. We'll come back at 4:30. If almost everyone can finish in 1 hour, we'll end in 1 hour. If not, I'll give you a bit of extension. And after that, I'll start to teach a little bit on Android. Starting today, we're going to use Android. So after this test, we do Android. Okay, so 1 hour, tentatively 1 hour. 暂时我们决定是用1个小时多来做。如果做不完，再给你一点时间，再做完它。So this is quite a simple program, not difficult, right? Define function. So in this chart, when you see the chart, negative mean private. Like last week we did the example. Negative mean private, positive mean public. Public function, public constructor. This is animal. Capital letter is a constructor. Cat is a constructor. Dog is a constructor. And small letter are function name. Function name. Whether Kotlin, whether Java, we use the same function name and also same constructor name, same property name. Negative mean private. All right. So if you want to make it Kotlin, make it public also can, doesn't matter for this one, right? Name, doesn't matter as long as it works, as long as the program works, as long as the program can run. But you might face some error later, might have some error. Correct the error and produce the following output, right? So some of these program, main program, there are 2 errors purposely put in for you to identify what is the error. You just comment out the error. You want to make the program run, you just comment out the error, but make sure you know what is the error. Because I purposely put in some code that might have error. All right, so you can just correct it by commenting it out, right? Or in order for the program to run. Okay, so any question? The instruction is clear, right? Okay, let's start now. You can start now. Just try to write the program, and follow this structure, this class organization, right? So with an animal class, cat class, dog class, big dog class, and the test program, right, given to you, right? You can just use the test program. You can use either Kotlin Playground, Java Solo Learn to write, right? Java Solo Learn, or you can actually use IntelliJ IDEA. Just start a new project. program, paste the program into it, the main function code into this. Right, you can start now. 1 hour, huh? We end at 4:30. Right, we stop at 4:30. If you need extension, then before 4:30, let me know. Right, you can start trying now. Anything you need, let me know. Huh? You need to ask, let me know. So the link to submit I have given you, the question I've given you, and then you can use IntelliJ IDEA, or you can use Solo Learn, Java Solo Learn, or what is that, Playground for Kotlin, huh? To write the code, to test the code. All right, thank you. right? For the form, I think maybe source code is not allowed. So if you can submit source code, you can hack the form. You just zip the file and submit. Zip the file. Let me change the instruction. Zip the file. Zip the source code and submit. I also suspect that because if they allow you to submit any script, you can actually hack. You write script to hack it. Okay, so it should be a security issue, security checking. So you just zip the source code. Even though one file, you just zip it and submit. Oh, I forgot. Maybe you have to put down your name also. Otherwise, it's very hard for me to recognize whose submission is that. Just zip the source code and submit, right? Format, So format your name. Your ID and name, ID and name. ID underscore name dot zip. Can right? Easier for me to track. But it's not graded, but that doesn't matter. But still, you submit by using your ID and name. Can't detect zip file, Let me check. So you cannot submit zip file as well, right? Let me check the file type. Oh, okay. Let me. Wow. OneDrive. This is the form problem. They don't have the file type for zip. Wait, how to do it? They have only Word, Excel, PPT, PDF, image, video, audio. Can you just submit in Word? Word doesn't matter, a Word file. In Word file, you just paste your code into Word and rename the file to your name and ID, then submit. Right? So use Word. Right? Doesn't matter. If I want to check your answer, I open in Word. Because it's also an editor. Can already, right? Can submit already, right? Can already, right? I saw one submission. So fast. Bua Jia Hong. Finish already. Okay, Word, You use Word. Okay, can. Just use Word. Word, Submit in Word. Right? If you finish early, you can do your assignment first, right? The mock-up design. Wait for us, wait for everybody to finish before we continue. Then I think most likely everybody should be able to finish by 4:30. Okay, so you just submit using Word, right? Students, you have 5 more minutes. So far, 26 students have submitted. So it's about another, and 31 students have submitted. So it's about a few more, right, who haven't submitted. So 5 more minutes, just try your best. Try your best. Students, can you access the form? Can you access the form? Cannot already, is it? Okay. Try again this link. Okay, can already, huh? Okay, good. Okay, students, can you hear me or not? I use the mic here, my earphone mic, because I think there's some noise at the background. Nice hair. Okay, almost like botak. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me or not? Can. Okay. Clear or not? Clear? Okay, I think it's okay. It's not graded. So you, whoever haven't finished, you just finish it later. You can submit anytime you want. Huh? So you can finish it and just submit to the form, to the what is this form? Microsoft form, right? So I don't restrict you, but it's late, it's okay, So, but we need to carry on, We need to carry on with our class. I still have quite something to teach today, All right, okay, so far 35, So I know roughly your ability already lah, competency, So altogether 50, I think attendance is about 40, 50. From this, I roughly know there are some who a bit still need time to pick up, right? But no worry, we still have the whole semester. In the meeting, 50 students, 35 can finish on time, 1 hour. 1 hour is not that short, also not that long, But this practice, actually, you can finish in 5 minutes if you know how to do. If you really understand the concept, 5 minutes. Just now, there are somebody who finish in 5 to 10 minutes. So that is the one thing that you maybe some of you couldn't finish in 1 hour, then you need to really work harder on Kotlin. Okay, let me go to the mind map again. Hey, we don't have time to keep talking about Kotlin, because in a language, this is Kotlin language, Kotlin programming. If you want to learn Kotlin as a language, you need to go through a long process of learning so many different topics, right? So basic syntax, most important in the syntax is actually variable, right? And then we don't have time to cover everything syntax, but we know already, right? Var and val, just differentiate the two. And then we done this, so I highlight now, we have done this. Now safety we have done, right? Remember the nullable, right? So we have put a question mark on the variable, Even on the object also you can make it nullable, So any object you want to assume, you can assign the null value to it, then you have to put it nullable. Function, okay, function, I think we discussed roughly about lambda, a short function, right? With a lambda is something like this. And then you have an arrow and then the body. It's a function. It's just a function, just that it's a very short form of a function. No name, right? It's called lambda. Lambda means anonymous, no name. So in Kotlin, you can write lambda function. Higher order function is when you can have lambda function, very short function you define. You can pass a function to another function as a parameter. So a function can have parameters, right? Argument, input parameters. So you can pass a function, normally a lambda, we create a lambda that pass a lambda to another function. So the function that takes in another function, we call it higher order function. We don't have time to explore very detailed. Later I tell you what are the resources for you to pick up more, right? This part will be your responsibility already. I try to give you what you need to do, right? We have to move on to Android. So this one, Kotlin language, you pick up more, right? So when you have time, right? Lambda, we cover. This one, I think we didn't cover much. I have sample code. I can upload the sample code to Moodle, right? If you want to explore more, you go to Moodle, So I put more code on Moodle, sample code that I have. Extension function also we didn't cover. Extension function is something like static function in Java, meaning a function that you extend from a class that you can use the class name to call the function. The one that you did today, later I show you, is not static function. They are just a function within a class that you need to create an object to access the class. You see this just now, right? This is a function. This is not an extension function because why? You need to create an object, right? An object of cat in order to call the function, right? So your function is accessed through an object of the class, right? But if you can access the function using cat like that, directly using the class name dot the function name, then there is a static function in Java. We call it static function. In Kotlin is called extension function. Huh? So if when you come to it in Android later, maybe I'll teach this, but now I don't have a time to teach it as a topic. So later when we encounter that kind of code in Android, then we talk about it. All right, that is actually extension function. And then Kotlin has some convenient way to define a block of code, right, that refer to certain variable, certain object using scope, not scope function. So I'll tell you the resource on where to learn scope function. So these are things that worthwhile for you to learn. Huh? We don't have time to cover, but worthwhile for you to learn. Okay, OOP, the one we cover the most, huh? Class. We cover class, we cover abstract class, but we didn't cover interface. Interface and abstract class are quite similar. They are both referring to defining a type that is abstract. Huh? Sometimes we use interface. Why is the difference? Abstract class, we can only inherit from one, right? Abstract class. Animal, cat. Cat can only be the subclass of one abstract class, animal. If I have another abstract class like human, animal and human, you cannot inherit from more than one class. In Kotlin, you cannot have a cat that inherit from animal and at the same time also inherit from human, right? You cannot do multiple inheritance in Kotlin. So you cannot do like this, cat, and then suddenly you put a comma, human, another class, right? Let's say you have another human class here. But fiber. Let's say you cannot have multiple inheritance in Kotlin, right? But you can have multiple interface. A class can implement more than one interfaces. So interface is like API, application programming interface. Interface is just a class, something like a class, but the keyword is interface. So when you want to define a interface, you write something like this. Interface. You can have an interface that call animal interface, animal I animal or something like that. Right. Then you can have a cat, right? That not only this one is actually inherit, but you can have another, let's say another animal C, class C, right? That let me see, I forgot how to implement. It's actually Java is called implement, right? In Kotlin, I forgot already. Let me check the syntax. Interface. Suddenly I lost my memory. Okay, Kotlin interface. Right. Abstract class you cannot inherit from more than one class, so you cannot belong to more than one type. Understand that? You cannot have a cat that is an animal at the same time as it's a car, right? That is not possible. But interface you can implement more than one interface. Sometimes some function you want to adopt from one interface, another one you want to adopt from another interface. So this is called interface. The purpose is something like abstract class. You see the function also no body. So this is in Kotlin. Always refer to Kotlin official documentation on kotlinlanguage.org. You just Google, you can find, right? So implement. Oh yeah, also use colon. Forget already. Okay, interface. And then this is just like class. You can call it class also class, but just now we use abstract class. This is interface. So you have function that is abstract, but you don't have to say it's abstract. You don't have to write abstract in front of the function for interface. But they are also abstract. This is abstract. This is not abstract. This is with the body. So the body is optional for interface. You can have all the function which is all abstract without the body. And then when you implement, you just put colon, and then you can implement from interface. You can implement for more than one interface, meaning you can have comma, right? Something like just now, what I mentioned here, right? You can implement, right, from interface 1, animal, right? And then let's say you have another interface, animal 2, right? I can have comma. We can have multiple implementation of more than one interface. You see no error here, no error, right? So you can do this. Huh? So I don't have time to teach this, but I have the example. I can send you. I can upload the example to Moodle. Right, this is interface. Difference abstract class and interface is you can implement from more than one interface. Huh? That is the idea. Okay, so yeah, we didn't have time, huh? So you have to go and pick up if you want to know more. And there are special type of class called data class and enum class. This one quite simple. Sometimes some class you don't have the function. The class only have the property. So you don't have to define the body, right? This is called data class, right? So in Kotlin is very common, data class, right? This one we didn't cover. Later I show you here in the example. I encourage you to pick up all this, where is it? This one, through this example. Right, I strongly encourage you to pick up all this, right? From the first topic introduction until collection, scope function. Just now I mentioned scope function, right? There are 5 scope functions in Kotlin. You can scope mean a range, a range of a few lines, a few statements you can put together if all of them refer to certain object or certain variable, right? So you don't have to keep repeating your statement by passing the variable using temporary variable, right? Always we have to define a variable to keep value temporary and pass to the next function. But in Kotlin, you can do everything in one scope using bracket. Now this is called scope function let. Scope function run, let, with, apply also. So you can remove the temporary variable that you need to use in your function, in your program, right? You can reduce that. Okay, just now I mentioned about data class is this one. Here, data class, right? Data class is a class that comes with, you can have function, but normally when we define data class, the purpose of it is we don't want to use we don't want to define our purpose is not so much on the function. Our purpose is more on the property, right? I told you Kotlin saved our code. They don't want us to write setter getter function everywhere. So by default, Kotlin most of the time the function, the property is in the constructor. So you can define the data class such as this. Animal, for example, right? Just now name, right? Name, string, right? Just like that. It's a valid class. Without the body, you don't need this body or data class, right? But if you want to define some function inside the body, can, right? Just now, if you want to make it private, you can just directly put it private like that. If you want to make this name private, you just put private. If not, then public. So this is how you define a data class. As the name implies, data means property. You only want to pass value to the animal without the function, without behavior. Sometimes we want to form certain data structure, object, right? Our concern is only the property, not the behavior, not the function. So we can ignore the function. That is data class. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask me later. It's okay. So concept-wise, all P we learned already, right? Inheritance, polymorphism. These two we covered. And then program flow, if else, you know already, right? This one is quite easy, no need. I didn't touch much. Loop in Kotlin, there is something quite important also. These two you never learned before. Range and also repeat. This one you cannot find in Java. So find time to learn. This one you can self-learn, very easy. Not only you need to write for loop, you can also write repeat loop. Repeat loop. Repeat how many times? A block of code. Range also. You can define for loop. You normally we need to define an index and then we loop until certain value, right? But this one you can use range. When this one when is like switch case. Switch case in Java. So did I teach you this? It's okay. Later when you come encounter this, I'll teach you, right? Loop, when. This is program structure, control flow. And most importantly also, we didn't have time to cover data structure collection. Collection means array, something like array. Array is not part of the collection. So you have something called array. Array is actually under data type. Data type, you have integer, double, string, and so on. Array is actually a built-in data type. Built-in, meaning it's not part of this collection class. If you want to learn collection class, actually quite easy. Mainly every data collection you can make it mutable or immutable. Mutable means can change. You can reassign value. Mutable 可以换，可以改 can be mutated, can be changed. So it is actually data structure that you can add value into it. You can remove value from it. Immutable means cannot. Once you initialize, you construct, you initialize it one time. You can only read it. You cannot set. You can get. You cannot set. Mutable, you can get. You can set. Right. So there are basically three types of main collection that you encounter in your program. Mostly list. List is like array, but array is fixed size. Right. When you initialize, you already set the size, so your size cannot change. Right. Array. But list, the size can increase. How you can add new element, new member onto the list and grow the list. You can also string the list. You can remove, right? You can remove element from the list. So that is list. Different, right? They are different. So there are types of lists, many types of lists like array list, right? Linked list, and so on and so forth. And then set is similar to list, just that set the member can appear only one. You can, every value in your set must be unique. Right? You have 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Then your set is only 1, 2, 3, 4. Your list, if you have a list 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. The 3 appear 2 times. Set only consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the member. 3 appear 2 times as considered as one member. That is set. Map is like a dictionary in Python. Key value pair. 叫做in Python we call it dictionary. In Kotlin, we call it map. In Java, we call it Java. What do we call it? Suddenly I forget. I think it's also map. Java is also called map. Map. Okay, so this one I don't have time to teach, right? That's why I encourage you very much to learn from this example. You don't need to pick out a book. Actually, I've given you a lot of book, right? PDF. So you can also use this example to quickly pick up all this. So. Right? Please start learning right after class, meaning not during the class time. We don't have time to learn all this step by step. So I give you example. You can later after today you can go and check Moodle, put up sample code there, whatever or all these topic. Just that it needs your effort to pick up. After this class, we don't have time to touch about Kotlin anymore. So this mind map I'll give you. I'll upload online. You can use FreeMind to open. Right? You can use FreeMind. FreeMind. You can go and download free software FreeMind to download this mind map. This is our scope for learning Kotlin. Okay, let me save this. Right. Okay, another mind map starting today. Right, we are going to learn Android. So can I confirm again? How many of you have zero experience, zero skill, zero knowledge about Android before? Zero, meaning this is the first time you take this subject. Because some of you, I know you took another Android program before. So I want to balance whether what I teach is too hard or too easy. Anyone is zero, first time. Okay, let me see how many percent are first time. Can you just raise your hand on the list? One, how many? If many are just first time, then I have to teach very basic. Some of you may find it quite boring. Okay. Qingze, Chia Hong, first time. The rest, not the first time. Okay, what do you teach? What do you learn in the other Android? Okay, let me ask you. View and view group, learn already or not? Layout. Okay, I'm going to cover constraint, linear, important one, linear, and relative. These three. If you know these three, good enough for you to cover most of the design, right, of UI. And there are also frame layout. These two, I can give you an example. I'm not going to cover this, no time. Huh? And then another one, coordinator, something new, more advanced layout. I have the code, just that I want to see whether got time to teach or not. So you have very few, right? Most of you are not first time, right, in Android. Can I assume that? Most of you already have some experience doing layout. 是吗？是吗？I need feedback, otherwise I'll teach something too easy, sometimes too difficult. First time, three. Only 3 students are first time. No, sir. No means what? No is no experience, huh? So 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. Okay, to take care of all of you, I think I'll teach from the beginning, right? But I won't teach something very layout. Even layout, I'll teach a bit advanced, right? Advanced. Constraint is quite advanced, actually. I don't know in your previous experience in another subject, you learn really constraint, do it, learn it properly or not. I don't know, but it's very important nowadays. Huh? A lot of app, mostly they use constraint by default. Constraint layout. And then I'll teach if you have time, because later you need to do your assignment, right? So we'll do input, log in, log out, log in screen, your mockup, right? Log in screen, register. We are going to use either constraint or linear. These two, huh? So if we have a bit of more time, I can cover relative also. Relative also, relative layout. Okay, so this two is advanced. Not to say advanced, but less used, but it's also useful, right? So I'll show you example. Sometimes some project, I don't have time to hold your hand. So I'll give you sample code, I explain the code, right? Some I can hold your hand step by step. Okay, so layout. Okay, activity, intent, fragment. Those of you who have taken the course before, have you learned? Normally I know intent and activity you learn, right? You want to go from one screen to the other. Activity is one screen. This is screen, right? Screen is an activity, and then you want to go from one activity to the other. Intent. Fragment. Many times sometimes you take a course, you never learn fragment, but fragment is very important in the modern app, modern Android app. If you everything activity is not according to the right way to do already nowadays. Right, nowadays Android, you need to use a lot of fragments, especially when your app is responsive. You want to make your app very fast, performance fast. You cannot put everything under activity, right? You need to have fragment within your activity. So that is fragment. And then another big topic we are going to cover later is navigation. Navigation, there are a lot of ways to do navigation, out or back navigation. I just give you an overview first. You know the scope for this semester, starting from week 3 until week 15, right? 我们有差不多 15 minus 3, 12 weeks, right? But minus the presentation last 1 week. Then we have maybe 11 week more. So up and back, and then you have navigation drawer, right? I'll cover drawer. I'll cover also option menu, right? Put something on the menu. And then I will cover also, if have time, we call it tab, right? View pager. View pager meaning the tab. And then what else? And of course, button, using button, click a button, go to another screen using intent. There is intent. Data persistent will cover shared preference. This is a local file storing key value pair. And then we'll cover one very important local database called room. And then we have also remote API. API, remote network, right? We will use either one only. I have no time to teach both. I'll either use Poly or retrofit for network API to access data from the server. So more or less, this will be the scope, right? Of course, we also have testing the app using the debugger. This one I will teach along the way using Android Studio. We are going to also use unit testing This one I will cover just by introducing you, no time to do normally, and then UI testing is Espresso, using a framework called Espresso do UI testing, automate UI testing. Right, so this part is the most important, view and view group, right? Layout and view. View are like button and so on and so forth. How to draw the UI, button, text view, image view, and so on. A lot. So this will be the first part, the first few weeks, starting from this week. Okay, so you have an idea already what to do. So if you have learned before in another subject, most likely you have learned the one on the right hand side, this one, or this. You have learned the one on the right hand side, but normally you have learned less on the one on the left hand side. So I try to do this first on the right hand side, the layout, the design, the view. Okay, so start up your Android Studio, start a new project. This is my current version, Bumblebee. If you have installed before, like Arctic Fox or other older version, you can upgrade already. How to upgrade? You go to Help, check for updates. So this is Bumblebee, right? You can even dock. This one meaning this is an emulator. Is it the app? I want you to learn to develop. How come cannot play this app? We are going to do this app today and next week. Today cannot finish. I don't think so. We can finish. Right? So this is the app. Right? We want to do this app. Right? This is constraint layout, and also learn how to write Kotlin code. Some Kotlin code. Right? So please update later after class. Don't do it now. If you update your Android Studio, will be downloading something. Right? So update to Bumblebee. Bumblebee version. Latest one, Bumblebee. And I haven't taught you, right? The Android Studio architecture, right? Okay, start a new project first. Just start a new project. Do an empty project. Empty. Right? Empty project. Okay, this project we call it color my box. Color my box. Project. Right? You can name it color my box. And then the package name will follow your class name. You don't have to change this normally for development purpose. But if you want to deploy, right, you want to run this app and on Google Play, let's say you want to sell it, you want to distribute it, then use the proper name for your package, right? Normally it's the reverse of your domain name of your company, right? By default, Android use com.example. So you just use the same. No need to change this one. So the package name, if you want to change, you can change something, right? But don't change. Normally we follow, just follow this. You actually be similar to this name that you give, but small letter. And then save it in the location that you want, right? This is a project that you want to save. Let's say you want to create one folder for SWE401. Then you can save it in that folder, for example, right? So for me, I save it. And then your project folder, color my box. Create a folder to keep all your source code in one project, color my box. And then Kotlin. We are going to use Kotlin for this project, Kotlin. And this API, minimum API, normally by default just set 24. Don't change anything here. Right? So those of you who have learned before, please listen again, because this is Bumblebee. The earlier Android Studio, the interface may be different. Right? So this time you have to relearn again the interface. Just call it color my box. Package name, let it do it for you. Don't change anything if you don't know. But if you know something, you can change. Like this one, I can name it like, let's say, let's say I'm doing it for SMU, right? I reverse the domain name, and this is .my. Right? This should be your, normally people do like that. The domain, it'll be unique. It has to be unique package name, unique to the world. right? If you want to deploy this app out there in the world, then you must make sure this domain plus your package name doesn't clash with another class, somebody's package. Huh? So normally we make it. But if you just do testing locally, right? Just use the local default one, right? And this is your position location for you to save the project, right? And so on, Kotlin. Huh? Okay. After you have done this, finish. Okay, ma. Let it sync. Huh? You see this internet, you must have internet. As the faster, the better. Right? Your project, every time you open a project or existing project or you create a new project, right? You sync in the background. You can see it in the here. You can hide, you can open up. Right? So it need what is sync? Sync means it actually downloads some dependency. Dependency means, right? Dependencies, right? Mean library that you need, right? Dependencies mean library, software library. So like, for example, these two, right? Software library, right? So by default, you need to import some library, right? These are API, Java API. We call it Java API framework. Huh? Java API class or Java API packages from the net. So you need internet, right? You sync, huh? From the net. So you need to wait for a while, huh? Still sync. If you see this still loading, right? If you see this still loading, it means the project is still not synced yet. You need to wait, right? Gradle project sync in progress, right? So you see this message. Gradle project sync in progress. It means that the project is still syncing. Huh? You have to wait. If it takes a long time, then your internet is too slow, right? I can say that your internet is too slow, maybe. Huh? So you have to wait. 可以吗？明白吗？有问题 stop 我啊。这个是每一次 start a new project 一定要做的事啊。So you have two types of code that you need to deal with. 你一定要有两种的 file， 你要懂得怎样去看。第一个 ，the first one XML。XML is for you to code the layout, the design. 啊，这个是设计的 code 啊 ，XML. You learn HTML before for website, right? XML the format looks like HTML, right? Just that you need to open. If you have an open, you open a tag. You have an opening, you have a closing. So you can nest. Nest means you can nest your views, right? Each of the nest 一个在 you can put one view inside another view, right? So this is a nesting. This text view is inside this layout. Just now I said constraint layout, right? This is the package name. Package name, or we so-called the namespace of a constraint layout. By default, when you create an now already finished syncing, right? You can see that. 出来了，这些 file 你看到了可以 click 了呢。You can click already. You can expand the folder, right? Means the project is already finished syncing, right? You can open activity man. These two files, right? KT file, Kotlin file, source code, and also the XML file are the most important one that you always need to work on. For those newcomer first time, right? Always we do the design on the layout file, right? Layout file, XML file is the layout file, and we write the program logic, the coding inside the Kotlin file. Understand? Kotlin file for you to write the program flow, if else. All right, program, Kotlin, you learn it. And then here, XML, you do the design. You can have different view in layout, right? This is the editor view, right? Drag and drop. This is the code. This is the design view, right? You can see fully designed. You can drag and drop, draw a button. You can drag a button there from palette, right? For example, and when you see the code, you create a button here, right? So you can delete, right? If you delete here, you can delete, then you see the button is gone inside the XML. Understand? So you can use either, if you like the editor better, you use the layout editor. If you don't like it, you like to code, you can use XML editor. Either one, you can split also. So for me, I use both, right? As we do the project, normally we have to use both. The editor, the layout editors is for convenience, 比较快. 但是你要把它 customize. If you want to customize it nicely, you need to understand the code, right? You need to understand the XML code, right? So this is editor, huh? Okay, let's delete the hello world. Just delete like that. Select it and delete it. So the hello world is gone. The text field is gone, right? If you undo, so you can see the the text field is actually a view, right? A type of view. Text field is for you to hold a text, right? 你要写字, you want to write some letter, right? So text view is a text, for text. So if you remove it here, you also be gone in the editor, 不见了. So very easy for those of you who know how to write program. So this is very convenient nowadays in Bumblebee. Okay, for today we are not going to touch Kotlin, so you can remove this one. Right, you can go to the layout first. Right, we are going to try to draw this. Try to draw this on the screen. Right, using constraint layout with a few buttons. If I run it again, I show you. Before you click anything, right, the clicking and creating the color is actually by the code. Right, by the code in the Kotlin code. There are some logic there you need to write in order for you to change the color. Change the color of the so-called the layout, right? But we are not going to write this today, We are just going to draw it first, So you can ignore the layout first. Just look at the layout. This one. This is the layout. So after we draw, we want to achieve this with button. You see the spring 你有看到这个一条线吗？蓝色的。这些就是叫 constraint. Constraint. All these spring are constraint. You see the line? Constraint. They are line that actually you can see. 有看到吗？这个看到吗？ See or not? All these are constraint. So let me run it one time. You see in the emulator what happened when you click. So in the beginning, everything is just white color. Nothing. There is no design, no color. Okay, this is our target. Today we cannot finish. It's okay. We are going to continue next week. Okay, this is a white color, right? Only the text. These are two text view. How to play, right? And tap the screen and button, right? You can see, So how to play? If I click green, then box 4 will change color. Red, the red box 3. Yellow, box 3, and box 5. And then this one cannot see, right? Click on it. Box 2, box 1. If I click anything else, everything become gray. If I click this one again, gray become gray. Lost the color. All right, okay, something like that, the logic, So we want to draw the layout first, right? We want to draw, okay? So understand, Okay, can someone tell me your layout is ready or not? Layout ready 吗？预备好吗？ Your layout. Those of you who are first time in Android Studio. All of you ready or not? Still loading. Okay, I wait for you. Still loading. I know some of your computer slow, then you'll be slow. Your internet slow will be slow. The grader. Okay, so I need to give you some idea about how the code is being compiled. So I wait for you to load. Give you, maybe we can take a short break. Just now you just finish your test, right? 5 minutes break and then we continue. 5 minutes break. 5 minutes. 我们5分钟，因为有些人还在 load，反正都需要等。Then we take a short break, rest for a while, and then we continue. Now the project, right? The test, right? Lab test. Sample code, sample answer. Some of you might do differently, slightly different, but doesn't matter. You can refer to this, right? So if you want to know whether you did it correctly or not, if your program can run and then you see that the code works correctly, then it should be okay. Just that there are two errors here, right? Let me explain. I forgot to explain, so I just take this time to explain. Okay, just now the lab, right? Let me open the code, the project, the question. Let me open the question. Right? Here. Let me finish that explain first. Then we go to the Android Studio. Okay, this one. Cat and dog are sibling. Right? Cat and dog are sibling. So if you look at the testing code here, right? Here. There is one part that we try to create a cat. Let me see. Here. This is animal 2, right? Right? Dog as dog. This dog, right? This dog 2, right? Is actually a dog. Right? Then we try to instantiate. Let me see. This animal 2 is actually dog, right? And then we try to do this again. Right? Dog and cat. They are actually sibling, but they are not the same type. Right? You cannot assume dog and cat is the same. This one won't work if you run. You try to run the code. This will give you an error, so you have to comment out. This one doesn't work. So you can see that here. Cat inherit from animal, dog inherit from animal. Doesn't mean dog can actually have any relation with the cat. They are just different object, different class. So you see the cat doesn't have the Greeks another dog. It doesn't have that function, even though it has another function called Greeks another cat, but they are still not the same. We cannot have a side relation for class, even though they inherit from the same superclass. This is one. Another one is abstract class. Animal cannot be instantiated. Remember, this one, you have an error here. Abstract class cannot be created as an object. Right? Abstract class, animal is abstract. Right? Animal, abstract. Abstract class cannot be instantiated as an object. So you want to try to create an object of class animal, of animal 4, let's say. You want to create an object of the class animal. You cannot construct, cannot be instantiated means cannot be constructed. You cannot construct an object from an abstract class because it is abstract. So remember that, right? So this one you cannot work. It cannot work, and this one also cannot work. Right? So this is the code basically. I think all these are quite easy, right? Based on the class diagram. The cat, right? You have the same constructor, right? The animal will tag in a name, right? Animal here, right? If you want to put private, like that, put private, but doesn't, okay, cannot in this case, cannot. You want to make this work. Okay, so cannot put private. That question I think I have to change. Is just make it to be accessible. So name, right? So you pass the superclass animal, right, with the parameter. So this is a constructor, right? This is a constructor in Kotlin. So you just pass according to the Kotlin constructor, right? This is inheritance, inherit from this animal, inherit from this animal, and this cat, right, also has a name. So this name you can initialize in the superclass like this. If you pass a value like 00 cat mimi .00, right? So the value will be assigned to the name. right? So this is the parameter you pass in will be assigned to this property inside the animal, right? You can do this. And then abstract method Greeks. Huh? You don't even need to put this, it's okay. Huh? If you want to define a void, this is void actually. Right? Unique means void in Kotlin, right? So you can omit this as actually doesn't matter. So the rest I think is quite easy. Huh? Then you can have a override. Okay, so all these function, right, that you want to define for abstract method in the superclass abstract, then you need to put keyword override here, right? So it's similar to open. If the function is an open function in the superclass, open function must have a body, right? But this is abstract in this case. So when it is an abstract class, abstract method, then you override. In your function, if the name is the same, function header is the same, then you need to override, right? And define the function there. And then here, Greeks, right? In the dog, you want to create a function that, right? Create another dog, right? So big dog inherit from dog. So the Greeks inside the dog will be overridden again inside the big dog subclass. And the Greeks another dog will be overridden also in the subclass big dog. Right? In that case, you need to put the open. Why open, not abstract? Because this is not abstract. This is with the body. So you put open. So because you put open, only you can override here. You can override this method. Open, and then you can override in the subclass BitDog. And then this one is another function inside BitDog. So if you run, do properly, then you run, you should yield the result. Right? You should see the result here. I hope most of you understand what you did. So this is very important. Why we need to do such a simple program like animal? Because later in Android, right? You see in Android, the Kotlin program, right, is object-oriented. Kotlin or Java program, right, is object-oriented. Let me minimize this. So slow, sorry. I think I shouldn't run so many programs. Okay, so it's object-oriented, right? The class activity, every activity that you create later in the program, the code is a class. And then it inherit from app compare activity is a library class, right? So all the activity is a children of this superclass app compare activity. And then in the program, you have some function. So you override. Override means what? You override the onCreate method in the superclass. Inside app compare activity also has another function called override, called onCreate. So if you want to check this app compare activity, the definition of it, the code, you can go to goto. Right, this one later, but today I just show you how you appreciate Kotlin, appreciate writing object-oriented programming inside the Android project program. So you go to, you right click, go to declaration or usage. So you want to see this, declare this, where do we declare this function, this class, right? You can go to declaration and usage. So in your SDK, right, you download SDK, right? Software SDK for this 31. Okay. Many of you, when you want to compile, you want to build this program, you need to have SDK. So the SDK manager is on top here. I think during the first week, I will also mention about this, SDK. Yeah. So what is SDK? Software Development Kit. All these library class that you are going to use, right? So many of us, I think you have to download at least one of the SDK. On the first week, I already mentioned this, right? Currently, I'm using 31, 32, 30, right? So the latest one is API level. First week, I talked about API level 32 already now, the newer one. If you use Bumblebee, right, most likely you can run 32 up to 32, which is Android 13, right? 32 API level 32. Mine, I download 32. 31. This is still very common. And 30. Don't go too low, right? So I think 30, 31, 32 will be quite okay. But you don't need everything. You don't need so many. You just need one, right? If you use 32, very latest one, the latest one is actually preview tiramisu. But don't do that. Just go up to 31 is good enough, or 32, right? You can download. I got 3. I have 3 until 30 also. Platform. This is the SDK, the software library that I'm going to use, right? So you need to download. If you don't have, you click and then you download. You can apply and then you download from the net, from the internet. And then just some of these. Here also you need this one. Build tools, right? The latest one is 32, but I haven't update, right? I haven't update. So mine is a bit outdated. If it's not thick, meaning it's not the updated one. So this one you need. Some of these you don't need. You need this one, build tools. You need this also, SDK platform tools. And later, a lot of times you need to have display services. Some you don't have to download everything if your computer doesn't have a lot of space. And this one you need if you are running Intel i3, i5, i7. For me, I use AMD, right? AMD Ryzen. So I don't need the emulator accelerator for Intel. I use the what is that? The AMD one. So but if you are using Intel, this is important to make your emulator faster. So you need to download all this. This one also, right? Emulator, so that you can emulate your app onto a software phone, right? Emulator is a software phone. This one, Android virtual device. We call it Android virtual device. This one, right? And this one. These are recorded, so no worry if you cannot remember what I mentioned. So just come here to choose this one, this one, sorry, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then for the platform that you want to run your project on. Okay. This is called SDK. So you see or not, just now I said I click on go to. Right, go to. I click from here, go to. Go to declaration and usage. So you see this file, don't go and change the file. This is a library file. This class. So our program actually inherit from this class. App compact activity is a Java file. Right, so the underlying library is still Java program, Java file, with semicolon. Right, so Java file. You can see how it works. The onCreate method, you see the onCreate method. Right click, right click. This is a super, right? Super means super class. The super, we are accessing the onCreate method from the super class. Go to declaration or usage. Right, so the onCreate method is here. So this is defined in the library. And in your program, you override that onCreate method, right? That is defined in the library. So you understand what is object-oriented programming already? Not now. So you appreciate we learned that object-oriented programming concept. Class and then subclass, right? You have function, open function, override function at the subclass. Okay, so now we can close this one. We are not going to write code today. Okay, so another thing you need to know is this. In the build.creator file, if you always refer to the Android view, for me, I prefer to work on the Android view. It's a logical arrangement of the files. It's not the physical file structure. If you want to see the physical file structure, it's under this project view. Project view will show the folder and also the source code inside. It's the same as on your hard disk. But this is not easy to find the code that you want to go, right? Like say, if I know like this is the Kotlin file inside this Java folder, and the Android manifest, and also the layout. Layout is answer resource. RES stands for resource, and layout file activity main, right? This file. But I prefer to use this logical arrangement. So you can see less file there. Important files are shown only. The manifest is one. Java. Java stands for source code, right? For source code, the Kotlin code, Java code is in the Java folder. These two you can ignore. These are for testing. Unit test is for test, and also Android test is for UI test. Right? Just now I mentioned we are going to touch this towards the end of the semester. So these two folder you can ignore for now. And Java generator is the so-called the APK, all the compiled code. So you don't have to bother about Java folder, this Java folder. You have to also know the resource folder. Resource folder, we have drawable. Drawable are the images or whatever, later vector graphic or image graphic like JPEG file, PNG file, and so on that you want to use in your program. You can import, you can actually put it under drawable folder. And then layout is the one that we are going to take care of today. And all these are the code, right, inside your app folder. But what about grader? Right, grader is for your code to be compiled, to be built, right? That's why it's called build.grader. Actually, in your project, there are two build.grader file, right? These two are the most important. The rest you can ignore. Build.grader file, the project level. This is a project level build.grader file, right? Remember, for your project, you need to download source code, right? Dependency. If you have some library file that is not in your project now, when you create a new project, you need to download the dependency. They are downloaded from these two repositories. One is Google, hosted by Google. One is hosted by Maven. One is called Maven Central. So these two are still alive. But there is another one, JCenter, which is already obsolete. So if you open any project, all project, you see this JCenter, and then it's on the top. Let's say it's the first one. Please delete it, or you remove it and put it at the third. It's okay to be at the third. You follow the priority sequence. So if you have a Google, then you get from Google, right? So when you sync your project, right, you download the dependency, any dependency from Google. If Google cannot open, right, let's say Google terminated, server is not found, then you get from Maven Central. If not, then you go for JCenter. But JCenter is out, right? It's already terminated that repository. So remember, every time you see JCenter, if you just put JCenter, it won't work. The server already down, right? So it's terminated last year. So you don't depend on JCenter anymore. Use Google and Maven Central. Okay, this is the project level script for you to compile, right? The entire project. So one project can have many apps, right? The hierarchy is one project can have more than one app. But normally our case, one project equals to one app. So you have one build.grader for project, one build.grader for the app. Right? So you have another build.grader which is for the module. You see, module means app. The module, when we say module, right? The app. And this is the project level, right? So the module means the app by itself. So you can sync. Okay, let me sync. Okay, so now you see the version, right? SDK. Just now I asked you to download, right? Remember? Ask you to download from SDK manager, right? Once you download, you can choose 31, 30, 32, right? Let's say you have 32, 31. You can choose, right? If you have only one, you use that one always. So if your project doesn't specify the right SDK version, SDK means level, API level. This is API. The project doesn't specify the right API level, you have to change yourself. Let's say here is written 23 to all, right? Because I don't have the 23 in my hard disk, I didn't download. So you need to change it to 31 or 32. For my case, I can use 32 also. I can use 30 also. So 31. 可以吗？这个跟这个要一样的。Compile SDK and also the target SDK is the same always. 31 and 31. If this is 32, I can also make 32 here. 32 is a newer one, newer API. Newer is API level for Android 13, not 12. Android 13 already. Android version 13. And this is the minimum. Just now when we create the project, right? 24. Normally we put 24 is good enough today. If you want to put lower also can. Then more fonts can actually run the app. Right? Normally I put between 21, 22 onwards. I don't put too low. Because too low means very old font already, huh? Normally we don't need to cater for the need of font that is very old because not many people are using the very old font. So normally 21, 22, 23, 24 is good enough for minimum. Huh? Backward compatibility. Understand? This one you need to take care. So if your program cannot run, cannot compile, got error, then you have to come here and check whether it's the SDK that you have on your computer already installed. Already download, already installed. Okay, so now let's, today we cannot do a lot, right? So we will do just draw a bit of simple stuff. Okay, come to the layout file in the editor version, editor mode, layout editor mode. All of you ready or not? All of you ready or not? Okay, we can start now. We can start. Okay, we have only 20-30 minutes. It's okay. We draw something simple. Okay, open the palette. Palette is on the left. In the editor mode, you have a palette. So you have many different category of views. These are called views. Huh? All of these are called views. Views or view groups. Layout is view groups. Layout normally is a container. How we call it container. Inside layout, you can put many views. Huh? So layout is a container. Button is a view. Huh? There are different types of button, image button, button, chip group, blah, blah, blah. Radio is a group, a button also, radio button, radio group, toggle button, and so on. Text, right? Today, we are going to use a lot of text view. Huh? Just put text, box 1, box 2, box 3, text. Common one, we have button. Also, common one, they group under this common. Right? Text, actually, this text view is under common and also text. Huh? So these are different texts. You can do a password text box, email text box, form text box. If you want to do a form, right, for your login, logout, for register, right, you can create all these text box from here. Widget, and so on and so forth. Container, some specific container, helper, Google Legacy. So for today, we are going to drag just one text view first. Just try to drag a text view. Text view. Okay, so you see our target is to build this, right? This something like that. You have a box, square box here, a long text view here, text view, text view, text view. All these are text view 5. Okay, so for the first text view, we are going to build this. So you see the 16 on top, 16, right? So the margin, this is called margin. 看到吗？这个小小的 space, the gap, 16 here, 16 here, right? 16, 16, 16, right? So we want to constrain this piece of text box to the side, to the left. Left means start. This one, the left side. This is called the start. This is called the end. The left and the right in constraint layout. This is called constraint layout. It's called start is the left, and then end is the right, and then top. This is top, and the bottom. Bottom here. So everything have 4 sides. Not only the text box. This one also got 4 sides. Top, bottom, start and end. Start and end. Okay, let's try to make this text box right properly. Constraint. Okay, how to do it? Okay, you can go to attributes here. Right, attributes. Do you see that? You can hide here on the right side. Attributes. So we can access we can do something directly in the XML. XML here, you see, once I drag a text box, you see, XML, right? So you can write attribute. These are called attribute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 attribute already created for me by the tool, but I don't like it. I'm going to change the value, right? So like ID, So you can change it in the attributes in the layout. Here, attributes, right? Attributes. So let's say this text view, first one, I call it box 1. I don't like to use text view. I can call it box 1, right? Or box 1 text, something like that. Or I call it text box 1. So all these property value, try not to use capital letter. Capital letter, use underscore, small letter and underscore the name. Normally we follow convention. Normally, so all the value for the attributes in XML is underscore, and also the small letter, like the file name also. You see font name, underscore and small letter, right? We don't use for the source code. Source code we use camel case. Camel case means big capital letter for the word, first character, and also no underscore, right? For this one, we call it what case already? I forget. It's using small letters, all small letter, and the words are separated by a underscore. Huh? Okay, so this one you can do like this: drag to the right, drag to the left. This is constraint layout. Drag to the left, drag to the top. So it'll be constrained already. You check the code. You check the code. XML. Yeah. You can see the split. Split. Right? You constrain it already. So you check the code. What happened to the text view? You add in this tree. You drag. You add in this tree. Attribute. App. This is not Android. App under app. This is called namespace. You see the app. XML namespace. Namespace, you know what is that? Namespace means a domain that defines what the meaning of this word app. So these words like layout, constraint, edit, and end to end, start to start, top to top, actually is defined under this namespace. We call it namespace. NS namespace. XML namespace. So app. Okay, you don't have to worry about this. These are all you can copy and paste. Normally, if it is not there, you copy and paste from another project and paste it here. But if you create a new project, normally do for you already. They'll do for you. Here, most important is this tree. That's how I drag 3 times, right? Left, right, top. So if I drag to the top, right, you actually constrain this layout. This is an attribute by itself. You constrain the top to top of the parent. Who is the parent? Parent is this guy. Now, this text view is in the stomach. 在肚子里面, in the stomach of constraint layout. So it's a children. This guy is a children of this parent. So the parent is this constraint layout. So you actually be constrained. The top is aligned. So the text view top will be aligned to the top of the parent. And then the start means the left. I told you, right? Start on the left. End is on the right. End is on the right. So the end is also constrained to the parent, right? The left, the start also constrained to the parent. So if you see the editor, right, it's constrained. So you don't worry where you end up with. Your each position will be in the center because the spring has the equal force, right? They use the spring as analogy to indicate the location. You see, spring, right? Both sides. Imagine you pull, right? You pull from both sides, right? 你从两边，从 parent， 它 parent 就是它的 constraint layout， 外面那个 constraint layout， 两边一起拉，you pull with the same force, you end up in the middle. So, but we don't want it to stick to the top, right? We want to have a gap of 16 pixel. In Kotlin, in Android, the pixel we call it dp. 1 pixel. We don't write pixel. Pixel is fixed. The size is fixed. We want to make it flexible, responsive. So dp stands for density, because different phone, right? The device have different density. Some of you have 300 megapixel. How many megapixel, right? So your phone is a higher end phone, better phone has higher density. So you don't want the density to affect the quality of the layout, right? So you put density independent pixel. So dp stands for density independent pixel. It's not pixel. It's something like pixel, but it's not pixel. So you'll be elastic. You adjust according to the density of the font. So let's say now we want to keep 16 dp, right? 16, right? The gap as the gap. Okay, we can actually define. You click on this. You go to attributes. You can write here. You see now we put 0, 0, 0, right? Of course, no gap. So you can add 16 to the top. Right, 16 already, right? Yeah, 16. So you can put 16 here, right? And on the right, on the left. On the left. But you see the text view, because 16 is here, right? But it's too short, right? The text view is too short, right? 16 is here. How to make it long? We can make the width to be match parent, huh? Match parent. So if you look at the, this one we changed already. We have to change, huh? The box one, just now I say box one, we call it box one text. We call it tag TV. You can put any name as long as it's a valid name, huh? TV mean text field box one, huh? Okay, ID is the specific unique ID you must define, huh, for this. Okay, this text field refactor, change. Okay, so refactor means change the name. Okay, now 16, 16, 16, right? Why this is so short? Because you wrap content. Wrap content meaning follow the content of inside the body. Huh? The height we can follow the content, right? The text field. But the width we want to make it match the parent. You can match parent, then you become long. You see? Very long already, right? Huh? Understand? Huh? So the text field, you don't want it to show a text view, right? So you just make it called box one, right? So you can make it center, box one. So now this is box one. You want the word to go in the middle, right? So you can make it center. Center means alignment, right? You don't know what is the attribute to do that, right? You cannot find, right? You can find actually the text alignment is here. Alignment, right? Alignment, you can put it center. Center, right? It be center. Huh? But let's say you don't know how to find, you don't know text alignment, you can just search. This is attribute you can search. You put a line. Then text alignment. So you can find center or gravity as well. You learn what are these later, but center is center, center. You'll be in the center. Okay, so you see or not? This one looks like the just now the example, right? This one. Right, but just that the height is different, right? Later we do the height. We need to define some style, later. For now, we assume this height is actually not wrap content, right? This height is actually fixed. I can show you the height for this box that I did. Box, the height is actually 24. Text size is 24. The height is actually 24. SP. So what is SP? SP is the same as DP. SP is the same as DP. Let me put it down. 1 SP is equals to 1 DP. So why do we need DP and SP? DP is for everything, every dimension. SP is for text. SP is used for text size. Text only. The other, like the size of a box, the size of a button, the size of a margin, and so on, we use DP. If you use it for text, we use SP. But the dimension, the size is the same. SP and DP means the same. Okay, so here, 24, right? So we can actually go back to that project just now. Here, we can define the size to be, you can click on it. You can look for size here. Size, S-I-Z-E, Z-E, yeah? Size. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I want to look for I want to change the size of the text, you see? Right, once I click, right, size, I can find here, text size, too small, right? I change it to 24 SP. So you see larger already. Product, nice, right? Done. Right, so how to do the constraint? Constraint, you just come here, remove this search. Yeah. Right, 16, margin. This is called margin, M-A-R-G-I-N. The space outside of the box, margin. The down there, we don't confine, we don't constrain, because down here, we are going to draw some other layout, right? Some other box. So we don't constrain the bottom. Bottom, we leave it. So in the code, you can compare the code. The code is created for you. Either you know the code, 16 dp here, just now, margin top. Right, margin, just like I said, the margin 16, 16, 16. So in the code, the layout, right, the XML is actually margin start, margin stop, top, margin end. And then the text, alignment, center, text size, 24. And these three are the one that we set the constraint. All right, understand? Okay, okay. Right, so this is the children, first child of the constraint layout, right? Okay, let's do the second one. Now you have box one. We want to do the square box, box two on the right hand side, left hand side here. So let's just go to the palette, drag another text here. Just simply put it everywhere, somewhere first, right? Because you don't know the exact location. So again, you want to set the constraint. Huh? The top you cannot constrain to the parent already, because we have a box on top. So what we do is we constrain the top of the text box view to the bottom of the box one. Like that. The left you constrain to the parent. Right, so the right you have other box here later, so you don't constrain first. The bottom also don't constrain first. So now you see the code is already constrained, right? You see the layout constraint start to start parent, right? The left is to the parent, constrain the top to the bottom of, is it the top of the current box, constrain to the bottom of previous box. So you just put the ID into it, right? Previous box. That's why every view must have an ID. We always define an ID for every view, so that is unique, so you can identify it, you can refer to it, right? So TV box 1, so here you use TV box 1. Just the same ID, ID slash TV box 1, so to the bottom of. Okay, now we check the design on the attribute, right? So it's not 16, right? So again, we define 16 here and define 16 here. So it's quite nice, right? The position now aligned. Right, you just define it 16, 16. Now the size is 130. Let me know. I'll let you know. The size, the width, and the height is 130 dp. So you can set directly. Don't wrap content for this box. We set 130, 130. You can set 130, 130. You can get this. So now, can you try to align this text in the middle? How to do it? Just now we align the middle and the text size to 24. How to do? And change the ID to TV box 2. Can you do it? I give you 1 minute. You try for this text, for this box. 可以吗？很简单哦。Okay. Easy, right? You don't know what is the attribute, right? Just search size, right? Oh, so many size, attribute. This one, text size. Change it to 24 SP. 24 SP. Alignment, right? Align. Right? You don't know what align, You want to look for text align. Text alignment center. Center. But you also want to align it in center of the entire box, right? So center. Okay, let me go to the code. This one you need to code. Okay, so the alignment, right? Text alignment center not enough, right? Let me check what are the, you can code in the XML also. Horizontal, is there center horizontal? Okay, let me can put 2, right? It cannot work. What cannot work? Okay, never mind. Just put center first. Doesn't matter. Because we are not going to show the box directly later. You'll be colored. Okay, so box value, right? This one change, right? ID you can change it here. TV box 2. So you can change it here, or you can go to the here, go to the attribute and change it here. You can change it here. TV box 2. So the text value, you don't want to show text view, right? The text value, text, you can change it here. Box 2. Right? Box 2. Then it'll be box 2. Okay or not? Right, let us just draw another tree here, another tree. So another text view, drag it here. Right, constrain it to the bottom of this one. Constrain it to the left, right? This one, So constrain it to the parent. Right, so this one constraint already, right? You see or not? The top, the left is actually the start, right? The start. This text view, right? Text view 3. This one we call it TV box 3. TV box 3. Cannot. right? Constraint, you see the constraint, end to end. End to end meaning the right. End means right, right hand side. Right hand side constraint to the parent. The left hand side is the start. Left hand side you constrain to the right hand side. End is the right hand side of the box 2. And the top you constrain to the bottom of box 1. All right, quite simple, right? The logic. This one we call it box 3. Box 3. So you can see it's done, right? But we want to give some space. Margin, right? Margin 16. Here also 16. Here also 16. Okay, the margin. And then we make it match. Let me see. Match parent cannot. Okay, the size. Put 0 first. 0. Right? Because we let the spring pull it. Right? Let the spring pull it. Now, for this case, you cannot match parent because the parent is actually the layout outside, the entire screen. So this one, you want the spring, right? There's a spring that pulling it to the top, to the left, to the right. You just make it 0. If the left and right, you want it to, let's say this you see just now, if I put match parent, you actually be very long, right? You match the parent. So if I change it to 0, right? I let the spring that control it. The spring on the left and the spring on the right. Because I anchored, 我已经把它锁在那边了。I anchored it already here, right? I anchored it to the left, to the right, to the box on the left, and to the parent on the right. So this is box 3. So we also want to change the size. Box 1, box 2, box 3, same size, right? So here in the attribute, you change it to size. 明白吗? Size, text size 24 SP. For text, we use SP. And make it to the center. Again, align center. Align center. Understand? Box 3. The box 4 is the same. Box 4 is the same as box 3, similar. So we just create a text view, drag it here. Right, just place it there first. Drag it to the the start to the end, right, of box 2. How come? You ask you to choose start to TV box 2 the end, So here, when you drag again, this one you drag again to the parent. Okay. So the top you drag it to the end, the end of the bottom of the box 3. Right? You ask you to choose whether it's to the top or to the bottom of box 3. You choose the bottom. Right? The bottom of box 3. Okay. Now again, you want the width to control, right, by the spring. So you can actually do this. Right? You can make it 0. The margin, put it first. The one on the right. The one on the left. Margin 16. 16. And then the top also margin 16. Everything 16. Right? So you see 16 already. And then put the width to be 0. Let the spring pull it. The spring will pull it properly. Understand? So this box, again, change the name to TV box 4. The ID to TV box 4. Then refactor. Refactor means change the name. Right? So box 4. And then the text, right? The text size and also the alignment and so on the same. So let me do it in the code. Now, I don't want to use the attribute here. Panel, I use the code. Right? So this box 4. Right? So now the text, I use box 4. I can change it here. The size of the text, I change it here. I do it myself. Android size. Right? Text size. Right? Is it text size? So the size I use 24 SP. And then last one, the alignment, right? Android align. Right? I just put AL, align. You can see a text alignment here, right? AL. Text alignment center. Right? So all these are already generated just now. When I pull. You see, box 4. Right? Box 5 is the same. I click here. right? Drag it here to the end, right? And to the top. Right? The bottom of the box 4, right? I put right here. I go to the attributes here, set the margin 16, and on the right also 16. So same, huh? So the text ID TV box 5 refactor, huh? And then the text, the width 0 dp, right? 0 dp. The size, text size, the text I change it to box 5. Huh? Change to box 5. Alignment, I don't search, I directly go there. Let's say I know where is it, the attribute, right? I can find, let's say here text, right? Text size, right? Text size here 24 sp, right? And the alignment, text alignment, I go and find it in the attribute. Text alignment here, center, right? So box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, box 5, right? Using constraint layout. This is constraint layout, you see? Constraint layout as a parent, right? And then inside there, the constraint layout, you have all these attributes. When you drag the spring, you can see the spring. Actually, there are these attributes there. So under this add namespace. So any question to build this? Anybody have a problem? I can give you this sample code. We'll stop here today, right? But this is a very basic. Anything you can draw, right? If you want to draw edit text, let's say just now is the text field, right? Let's say you want to draw a text box for people to key in something, right? You can drag this one. Let's say example, right? Name, people keying a name. Let's say, you don't follow me, this one I just show you. You can also do the same. Constrain it to this one. Right? Okay, you can set the margin, right? Set the margin, right? If I want to set the margin myself, the edit text. Okay, where is it? This one, edit text, right? I can set the margin myself. Android margin, right? I can tag. So if I want to set all the side, top, bottom, left, right, I use layout margin 16 dp. 16 dp. Then you can see it is here, So if I want to stretch it, right, across, let the spring pull it, I can just pull it, the width to be 0. Right, let the spring pull it. And that's all. Text box. This is a text box. But our example for us to do, we don't need a text box. We are going to put another 2 text view. So we are going to continue with that next week. I'm going to teach you how to do a style so that we apply a style to it so that you don't see the text inside the box. So this is what we do today in just a short 20 minutes. You can do it faster if you are familiar. This one I delete. Right? So if I have the text box here, I have the edit text here. Edit text means text box. Okay. So any question for doing layout using constraint layout? This is using constraint. As I said just now in the my map, right? There are many, actually there are many. There are grid layout also, grid view or grid layout. So the most important one is these 3. These 2 actually most commonly used. Sometimes there are people use relative layout, and also there are those that call grid layout or grid view. Grid means like grid, table format, row and column. There are also table layout. But we are not going to touch all of them. So we are going to learn the most important one first, and then the rest you can pick up. I can give you example, a sample code, upload to Moodle, you can learn. Right, so today we have covered this one. So next week we'll finish this project. Right, within next week we can finish this project. So any question on this, on doing layout using constraint layout, pool, spring, use spring. You can always refer this as spring. Right, spring here, you can go up here. You can use the editor, or you want to use the code also can. You can write your own code if you know, right? So any question on this? 有问题吗？知道吗？有学过吗？你们以前其他的 subject？ Any you learn this before or not? Constraint. Oh, no one teach you in detail, so you blur. Never learn ah? Constraint layout very important. Okay, good. Okay, so okay, so now I give you both the code, the final finished product and the half done. So before next week, I'll still explain, but I give you the final product also. Let you have a time to explore first, then be faster, 比较快。如果你们已经 on fire already 现在已经有火上来了，哇，有兴趣了我不能阻止你要等1个星期才看到嘛，是吧？You wait for 1 week only you see the final product. It's a bit too late. Maybe those of you who are interested, I can give you the final one that I have finished. Then you can refer. You can check actually what extra that I did. So next week when I come back, I'll still start from this sample, but I will be faster, 比较快 because you all learn already, right? So you have at least you have explored. So I'll give you both. One is a half done, one is a fully done one. But next week we'll still finish this half done one. Right? We want to achieve according to this one, the fully done one, including the code. We are going to add in the code next week. Kotlin code, Kotlin code to make the action. Click the button and something happen. Okay, any question? Any question? No question that I give you. I zip this code first. I give you first. You wait for a while. Wait for a while. 等我一下。Let me, okay, every time you pass a code to someone, let me run first. I run first. This is already running, actually running. Okay, let me run it. Run it in the emulator. If you click run here, give me 2 minutes. I run. I show you the run code. The new Bumblebee, you actually dock. You actually put the emulator inside the Android Studio. You can see the emulator on this side. Emulator, you see here. When you click on emulator, this is the box. So the emulator will show this empty there. It's empty. Right? We haven't done anything, right? Only the box 1, box 3, box 4, box 5, the text. But I want to show you one thing that when you want to submit, you want to pass somebody the project code, don't submit together with APK file, right? When you build, you already built it with APK, right? It runs on this, install on this. So what I want to tell is, when I want to pass you the code, I normally clean the project. So when you clean the project, you can show here. Clean the project. Here, build, clean. Clean project means clean the executable APK installer, installer program. You don't want the APK to be passed to someone, right? Someone can actually run the project himself and compile on his, so that the code shrink the size of the project code that you pass to someone. So that is what I want you to help me also. Next time I ask you to submit assignment, submit anything, homework, don't submit the APK to me, because it's too big. Everyone submit APK to me is too big. So I'll clean this project and then I will pass you the code now. What happened? Okay. Look like hang already. Can you see me or not? Can you still see me?
Yes.
Okay. Can. Okay. So let me pass you the code. Sorry, I need to check where do I put the project. You can get from Moodle later. So if you need to go, now you can download from Moodle. I will put to Moodle. But now since you are here, here, this one. So I already cleaned the project. So there is no APK inside. APK meaning the Android program. I just give you the code. How come it's not able to zip? Okay, let me close the program. Close it. All right, close it. Because I think just now I still run it. Okay, I close already. Okay, how come still? Doesn't matter, the code is inside. Okay, I pass you the code now. Okay, I pass you the code. All right, just now the XML and the Kotlin code is inside this project. Huh? So I upload one copy to Moodle. Huh? No worry, huh? This one. The completed code, all right? The completed. Let me give you also. I give you the completed one. So next week our progress can be faster. Huh? If you have time, you just check on this completed version before the class next week. How it was, everything is done. Okay, so I'll give you the code. Okay, this is the one. Huh? So it's here in the chat box. Chat box, you can download from there. Okay, if you have no questions, sorry to hold you late a bit. So I'll see you next week. See you next week. And then Monday, 3 p.m. again. Okay, enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your dinner. And don't forget to do the mock-up. The assignment due end of this month. You still have time. Still have time. So try to start to draw Figma. Right? Design. Design it properly. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.
So one question.
Yeah.
If the school open physical class, will you be back?
I won't be in the campus because my class they arranged to be online. But
very good, very good.
Very good. Very good or not good? Very good. Okay. Okay. So no worry lah. I think clear enough, right? Online is also clear, right? Very clear, right? Okay.
Very clear, crystal clear.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
I'll end the meeting. End the meeting. Okay.